everybody, it's Hussein Kabani, your favorite broker, and I'm here with Bakar.
Nice to see you guys again.
What we wanted to talk to you about in this session was first-time home buyers. We are seeing them resurface, and Bakar's been really working closely and actually has done 3 deals in a pretty short period of time with, I want to say almost like 3 different type of first-time home buyers.
3 different type of first-time home buyers. We've had a great month for first-time home buyers. Yeah. Seems like they're popping back up into the market. All of them kind of are looking for specific and similar things, but we're going to get through the details.
Yeah, so let's kind of go to that. So basically, we will tell you about the last 3 kind of first-time home buyers we've worked with. And so basically, you did a deal on Front Street.
Let's start with Front Street.
Yeah.
So downtown Toronto, right in the core. We have these clients, a couple who works in the corporate environment in downtown Toronto. I think they've been here for about 5 to 6 years in the country, and they've worked hard to save up their money, their down payment, made smart decisions, worked their way up in their jobs as well. And they finally decided to jump into the real estate market. And the reason they decided to jump into the real estate market is because they have been renting for some time. And they realized that with the memos going out to employees that eventually they're going to have these people back into the office, that, you know what, it might be a good time to jump into real estate instead of waiting for the rent prices to go higher.
Yeah, true.
So
they're going to see a demand, for sure. They're going to see a demand.
They're going to see a demand. Yeah. So for them, we did go out. It did take a little bit of time. We saw some options in downtown Toronto. They were very strict on their budget and what they wanted. And we ended up securing such a good deal on Front Street. Just to give you some perspective, like that similar condo was selling for close to $900K.
Yeah.
We were able to secure it for $670.
Yeah.
So about.
And then there was a comp that just firmed up while you were in conditional.
So this again, smart clients. He was very specific on his budget. Him and his wife, and we stuck to the number. We went back and forth on this deal actually for close to 10 days.
Yeah.
Negotiating with the listing agent, we were able to secure it at a price that we wanted. And a few weeks later...
well, I think it was before you even firmed up. There was a deal that firmed up that was the like unit, and it went for like $717.
So we had passed the initial 5 business days of the sum conditions.
Yeah.
We were still waiting for the status certificate to solidify.
Yeah.
And you're right, before it solidified, another unit in the building popped up, sold at $740,000, I think.
Okay.
Or 730.
I think 720 or 717.
I think it was around 717. Yeah. So long story short, similar square footage. Everything was pretty similar, but we got it for $50,000 less than another comparable. So they're happy. They got a good deal. Everything worked out for them.
Perfect. Yeah. And then we had another one that was a condo that we sold in Clarington.
Yeah, that was the one we spoke about on our last video that had the disabled handicap parking spot issue.
And so, like, just roughly, who is this person? Like, what does this first-time buyer look like?
It's a young lady who's been working for a few years as well, quite a little bit, and she's been saving her money. Yeah. She's been saving her money for a down payment. Yeah. I think she also wanted to leave the house and kind of have her own space. We got a good deal in Bowmanville, and with her, it was interesting because if you look at her mortgage now, she's kind of paying similar to what she would be if she was renting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she bought that place in the low 400s.
Amazing.
And I get it, guys. Not everywhere in Toronto you can buy a condo for the low 400s. You can do that in Bowmanville. And she was able to do it because her occupation was in Whitby.
Yep.
So she's not too far off.
It works for her.
Yeah. And she got a great space.
Amazing.
And she's happy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then we also have a deal that we did in Pickering on Bailey. One of my favorite buildings, SF3.
It is my favorite building.
Yeah, okay.
So after this year, checking out all the buildings in Pickering, I can say that my favorite building is 1255 Bailey.
Amazing.
Great area, great amenities, great layouts, great units. So this one was nice because this is also a first-time home buyer, but he's one of the first home buyers we've had who was born after the year 2000.
Yeah, so we had to double check his ID. We were like, what?
Yeah, young man who's also been working for some years.
Yeah.
I think his parents helped him out with the down payment a little bit, but he was secure enough to manage the mortgage.
Well, he got approved on his own.
He got approved on his own. Yeah. Good for him. That was a huge milestone, and we're super excited for him and his family. We saw a unit in that San Francisco by the Bay corridor, which was listed at $520.
Yeah.
And we submitted an offer on that unit for $485,000.
Fair market value.
Fair market value based on the comps. We couldn't get the deal done. The client discussed with us and decided, you know what, that 485, 490 range is where I'm at. We backed away from that deal, waited for more units to pop up. Long story short, the same layout popped up for sale. We jumped on it.
9 floors higher.
9 floors higher. We jumped on it. We secured a great deal. And the best part was that the listing agent of the previous condo actually reached out to me to see if we would still be interested. But again, it goes to show that if you're smart about your numbers and you know your budget and you know the market value and you stick to it, sometimes things work out. And in this case, things definitely worked out.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So basically we got all of these clients through our referral sources, right? Like our past clients, they referred their kids, they referred their family to us. So this is how we got these first-time home buyers.
Yep.
But when they come to us, like what is kind of a process that we're going to work with?
It usually starts with the buyer consultation, right? Because one of the biggest hurdles for a first-time home buyer is not being overwhelmed by the process.
Yeah.
You know, guys buying a property is, you know, it's not a small thing, and there are multiple steps that go into it. And when you're coming into a new, you don't know what to expect and what am I doing here and how do I navigate? Yeah. And that's where we come in. That's where you come in. And I think you spoke to these people to kind of get them on.
Yeah, because the thing is that what ends up happening is that with first-time home buyers, like we know, is that there's so many things that start to happen when they start liking a property. And the worst time to introduce this new information is like how the offer works, what the conditions are, when you need to bring in your deposit, when do you have to waive conditions, like all of these things is very overwhelming for someone to tell them right off the bat, right? Yeah. So that's why we do these consultations with them. So ideally, like when we meet a first-time home buyer or even a home buyer, we want them to come into our office. Not that we want to sit them down and hustle them, but we want to kind of sit them down and educate them and basically say, hey, this is how the process flow is going to work. At least they know. And you know what? A lot of the times they're going to forget a lot of these things that we're going to tell them on that initial consultation. But when you do remind them about it while we're getting closer to the offer, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember this. So at least it's not the first time that we're introducing. So we're kind of going over the forms. We're kind of like explaining to them what is going to happen during that process. So it's not all new to them, right? When they're there.
And you know what? That's a big part of it, because having to explain these things once the client likes a property and wants to move forward, it causes a lot of like stalling because there's so many different parts to it. So being ready before actually going out and seeing your first property will make the world of a difference for you as a buyer.
Exactly.
And the cool thing was, in this scenario, the buyer who purchased the condo in Pickering, the first unit that we put an offer on, knowing that we wouldn't get it because we were pretty far off on the price, we all went into it knowing that, hey, this is kind of a trial run. Yeah. Hey, let's submit an offer on this property. Let's get your feet wet in understanding what it takes and how the paperwork. Let's go through the documents. And we did all that. Yeah. We didn't get it. We knew we weren't going to get it. And it turned out great because the next time we submitted an offer, he was ready to go. He knew exactly what he was looking at.
And you know what, to your point, like even though that the market is quote unquote slow right now, but good properties that show well, that are listed correctly, the right intention is there, those properties are still moving fast.
I've been saying that for months, honestly. Guys, the market is not hot, but any property that's staged well, marketed well, in a good condition, you're going to have multiple offers on that property.
And one other thing I want to add is that the listing agent is, I'm going to get hate on it, but competent to actually handle it and be able to talk on your behalf. Like you're representing a seller, they have to be able to talk on your behalf. There's so many times that we wanted to work with the listing agent, but they're just like, they're in their own way. They're getting in the way of the client actually getting a deal done.
You can't, right? Because like when we're representing a buyer, our job is to get the best deal for our buyer.
For sure.
Our buyers, for the most part, understand market value. Sure. We go through comps. Yeah. We show them that, hey, A, B, and C sold for this price. And based on that, we think that this condo you want to submit an offer on is worth this price.
For sure.
And they usually have the concrete evidence in front of them.
Exactly.
Now, when you go to a seller's agent and show them the same thing, because multiple times this year, we've had to show seller agents comps to justify the price that we're offering them. Yeah. And we can tell right away that, hey, the seller and the seller's agent are willing to come to a fair agreement, or they're not.
Exactly.
Because and what happens when they're not? We realize it's emotional. Yeah. We realize there's no justification. Yeah. We come justifying the price. Sometimes the seller's agents are like, you know what, my seller wants this. Yeah. We can't justify it, but it is what it is. Yeah. And then we can't do anything.
And they're not a real seller at that point. Yeah. Okay. So moving away from there, like, so we go through this whole process with them. They have an idea of how the process is going to work. When you're on the showings and we're getting close to an offer, what are the other things that they're actually considering?
I would say the biggest one is probably the financial side of things, their mortgage, right? These three buyers had one thing in common. All three of them were very strict on their budget, which I love, because they know what they wanted. They
So
know
no one exceeded their budget.
no one exceeded their budget, but their budgets also align with market value.
Okay.
Their
So they had a
budget,
realistic idea of
well,
what
they would
should be spending.
ask us. They would ask me, "Hey, Bakar, we like this unit. What's it worth?" I would run the numbers, show them this is what it's worth, and they would put their trust in us, like most clients do, and say, "You know what? You showed us evidence that this unit is worth, let's say, 485,000. So we want to. Our budget for this is 485,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
And I love these type of clients because we're able to justify to them why we're submitting an offer at this price. And guys, I think if you're a first-time buyer who wants to get into the market, that is one of, if not the most important things. Understanding your budget, understanding your monthly payments, understanding how much it's going to cost you to carry this property, and once you have all these things, being comfortable and confident to move forward on it, knowing that hey, this is going to be what I'm responsible for.
What else? Like interest? I think that was another
interest
one.
Interest rate is very very important for first-time home buyers, and not just first-time home buyers. I think all buyers, because we know that a small difference in the percentage can make a big difference in your monthly payment.
Sure.
So a lot of these buyers have been looking around for the best rate and kind of testing the waters with different institutions to get the best rate for themselves, which they should be, right? Like they want to be in the best position moving forward, where they have a percentage of their take home going to their mortgage. And
for sure.
I think all three of them kind of checked that off, and it worked out.
And to kind of like wrap up this whole thing, I think that there is like two other components to this whole thing working, right? I think one of the things is that the buyer's mindset that we have been working with is first-time home buyers. I think they also realize that, hey, I might have to like cut back on certain things because everything is expensive. I'm going to have to cut back, but I'm looking at the future, right? Like, whatever based on inflation, like whatever my mortgage amount is, that's going to feel like less in 5 years from now because of inflation. I should hopefully maybe see some appreciation, and I'm going to be paying down principal. So I think these guys do have a long-term plan of what they're actually doing at the same time, right?
I think you have to. Like we know $500,000 today is not going to be $500,000 in 10 years.
Correct.
And how do we protect ourselves against inflation? We put our money in the right places, and it grows in the right way. We're okay 10 to 15 years down the road. And we've always been aligned in this where we think real estate is one of the safest places to put your money in a long-term bet.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the other thing also is that, in order to get our housing market moving, we always need this first-time home buyers to come in, right? Because what does that do? They come in, they buy the condo. The person that owns the condo goes to a townhouse. Maybe the person that owns a townhouse goes to a detached house, and so on and so on. And maybe the person that owns that big detached double-car garage home, maybe they've lived in there for 35 years and they're retiring. Maybe they're going to go back to a condo, right? So we need these people to come in so we can actually drive our market. So the way I look at it, and the experience that we've had with the first-time home buyers, because they're getting excited about getting back into the market because they see some favorable conditions the way that they're analyzing it, it's probably going to be a good sign that maybe our market is going to start to improve. And not to say that the prices are going to climb, but at least we start to see transactions, right, happen.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we know that stability in real estate is key. And I think we've seen some stability for a few months now, and I think we'll continue to see stability moving forward. We get asked all the time, the recent interest rate cut, will that make a big difference in the market? I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly.
And these things take time, and we need to see more of it. But I think we're heading in the right direction, and this is a good sign with seeing these first-time home buyers jumping back into the market.
Perfect. All right, guys. So if you guys have enjoyed the content over here, and if you guys are first-time home buyers and considering even buying, and maybe you're not even ready, maybe you're thinking, hey, the last buyer we had, he was thinking next year, right? But like, hey, it felt comfortable with the process, and it's not something that we did. We just kind of explained it, and I think he just gained a little bit more confidence with moving forward with the market. So if you guys are thinking about, hey, I want to get into the market, how do I do this? How do I budget? How do I save? I encourage you guys to reach out to us, even then to come in, have a coffee with us, and we'll explain the process to you. Maybe not in the greatest detail or whatever, but at least give you an overview so you have something to kind of think about, a real life example.
100%.
Right? All right, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Please go ahead and share, like it, and most importantly, subscribe, because I think we have the best real estate content in the GTA on this channel right here. Until next time, guys, remember one thing, get Kabani.
Get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold.